Okay, let's start with Snortling's Hollow for today. There's a hydrate. Thank you. Tumak Von Raven, thank you for gifting a sub as well. Okay, so let's start today with Snortling's Hollow. Of course, it's been a little bit. Mimsy took a little bit of time off of making the regular Snortling's Hollow content, but now she's back for more. This video is entitled, Is God Real? Mimsy is the only one who knows the truth. So it could be very proselytizy, but Mimsy has surprised me before. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse. So it's possible she'll be like, well, I believe in God, but I don't, I can't tell that to other people, and that'd be reasonable. But we'll see what she's gonna do, I guess, eh? I can feel the edgy 2012 atheist inside of me just waiting to jump out, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm an adult. I don't really care. Seriously, though, I'll say before this, like, I'm non-religious, but, if you're religious, that's fine, as long as you're not hurting anyone else, which is basically my feeling on any belief someone has. Do you, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Pyromancer says God is a Snortling. That would be the least, that tracks. I'd believe it.
It's a beautiful day
in Snortling's Hollow.
You could learn a little something. Would you like to follow? They're
Pulling you left, but you might
want to
wanna
go
go
right. Let's take a little trip and it could shed some light. If you don't agree with our
Point of view,
you don't have to make a big
to-do.
to-do. Just watch another video.
Who's stopping you?
Because we're not trying to tell you what to do. Hey there, friends, it's me, your old friend, Mimsy Moon, back with another episode of your favorite show, Adventures in Snortling's Hollow, where we explore the issues of today from a conservative point of view. Well, at least this conservative's point of view.
I think did Mimsy lose some weight? Good for her if she's getting, healthier. That's nice.
Sure don't speak for everyone. So thanks for patiently waiting for my next upload, but I have been busy creating dollhouses and miniatures for my Etsy store.
That's true. She does have an Etsy store. She's actually, and this is the thing, I think both Jake and I, and maybe even, I guess I haven't seen Shoe on Head's videos, but I know she's covered Mimsy. We've said, Mimsy, you make amazing little dollhouses. Focus on that, and you should make, money. And yeah, look at these. They're cute little, like fairy dollhouse type things. They're very cute. These are great. Good for her. This is something I think she could, honestly make some decent money on. I think they're a little expensive. She's selling them for $250, $300, $400 in the case of big stuff. But, there's a lot of little detail in these, The rooms are fully furnished. They got little miniatures. I get it. These probably take a lot of time and creativity to do. So that's cool. These scare me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. But, yeah, some of these are cool. Look at this one. Sandcastle. This one's $450. This one might look, my personal opinion, this one might be a little overpriced. But it's cool if you're into this kind of thing. It's not my aesthetic, but I can recognize that these clearly took a lot of time and effort and creativity to make. And they're wonderful. Good job, Mimsy.
So, this episode is brought to you by the Snortling's Hollow Etsy shop, where you can own a piece of Snortling's Hollow for your very own. So check it out. The link's below. Now, I asked Piper to join us today, but it looks like we're gonna have to go get her. No, you don't! I'm right here! Sorry I'm late!
At least she put the thing down here that says I'm so fucking weird. Remember when this was supposed to, in the first, couple episodes, supposed to be a show for actual children? And now she's, casually throwing fucking in the captions? Nice.
Hey, friends! Here she is! Our co-host, Piper!
Obo1, thanks for subscribing for 12 months. Says happy anniversary, Hannah. Happy anniversary to you as well.
Hello, everyone! So, what have you been up to? Well, I've just been writing in my atheist blog.
Oh no! A vlog. Piper's an atheist. Oh god. Did I tell you guys someone sent me? I asked for, like, it jokingly, of course, I asked for Rule 34 Snortling's Hollow, and someone actually drew it for me. So I have in my possession Milo and Piper getting it on in beautifully illustrated color. So if anyone wants that, I guess hit me up. I tweeted about it a while ago. Can't show it on stream for obvious reasons.
Oh, you're in.
Of course I saved it. You think I'm not? That's probably the only piece of Snortling's Hollow Rule 34 in existence. And you think I'm not going to save that? I didn't say I'm going to masturbate to it, but, you know, I'm going to save it.
Atheist! I should have known.
You want a link? Okay, hold. Well, no. Is that TOS? Can I send you a link to my Twitter where I put the picture? I'm not going to risk it. It's on my Twitter if you want to go search for it. It's from quite a while ago.
Why do you think so many people on the left are atheists? Because we're the smart and logical ones! You conservative.
Oh my god. Is Piper me from 2012? I was a cringe lord. I mean, I still am, but you know, less of a dick, at least.
These are all a bunch of superstitious dummies who think there's a guy with a white deer living in the clouds, judging you and controlling your lives. Sorry to tell ya, but you won't be receiving your mansion in heaven, Christian. Hey, first of all, conservatives are more diverse than you think. I, for one, do not identify as a Christian. I believe in an infinite power of the universe and a creator, but I identify as spiritual, but not...
It's like a deist. Coolio. I'm curious, what percentage of Republicans are Christian? I'd imagine this is going to be a pretty high number. Christians by political party. Republicans are 82% Christian and 18% other, so that would include all other religions and non-religious individuals. 65% of independents are religious and 63% of Democrats. So it's the majority in every group. Majority of people in the world are religious. And the majority religion in America is, of course, Christianity. So that tracks.
Religious. But that mansion in heaven thing, well, that's another story. But you still believe in God? Where's your proof? Oh, that's right. You don't need proof. You have faith. Or in other words, willful ignorance. Okay.
This is actually a pretty good parody of this kind of atheist. I used to be this kind of atheist. You guys know that. Many of you watched me since I was like 18 and started on YouTube years and years ago. Wow, almost a decade ago now. Yeah, that kind of stuff's cringe. It's completely okay to have like adult conversations about like spirituality and the philosophy of belief and the validity of religion as a literal truth. Those are all great conversations, and I still enjoy having those conversations in a dignified adult way. Although, of course, on the Hannah and Jake channel, we make jokes and stuff. But at the end of the day, like I said, I don't really care what other people's beliefs are, as long as they're not hurting people. That's great. But you can have adult conversations about belief and without being a complete jerk about it.
I hear ya. I have a little problem with the whole blind faith thing too. I mean, believe what we say without question or go to hell is not really my style either. But I also accept that there are things in this universe that can't be proven, measured, or even known at this time. So therefore, I find atheism very pretentious and another form of willful ignorance.
See, now she's kind of doing the same thing from the opposite avenue, though. Like, ooh, it's completely fine to not think atheism is true. Like, that's, of course. But, like, you're kind of doing the same thing by calling it intrinsically pretentious. Not really. Like, I'm an agnostic atheist, right? I think most people are agnostic who are atheists. Some people think these terms are mutually exclusive when they're not really. Gnosticism or agnosticism in this context basically means like agnosticism means I don't know versus Gnosticism meaning I know for sure. So when I say like I'm an agnostic atheist, it means I don't know there's not a God, but I don't think there is either, because I don't think there's evidence for it. If you think there is, that's your business. That's fine. Again, as long as you're not hurting other people, totally cool. But that's just where I stand, and I don't think that's a pretentious position at all. Like, if you have evidence that a specific deity exists, that's great. Show it to me. I'd want to know if that were the case. I just don't happen to think it's a thing, but whatever.
Ha! As if! And we're barely into this conversation and you've already contradicted yourself. You don't believe in faith, yet you have no facts. How can you claim to believe in anything? Well, I do have faith, just not blind faith. And I do have facts, just...
What's my opinion on afterlife? Likely, or not likely? Oh, I think not likely. I don't think there's any such thing as an afterlife. But again, if you do, that's fine. I just don't see any reason to believe that our consciousness exists outside of our physical bodies. It exists as a product of our brains. Our minds exist because of our brains.
It's not irrefutable facts. My theories are based on convincing circumstantial evidence mixed with gut feelings and educated guesses, so I guess a preponderance of the evidence sprinkled with faith. Sounds like bullshit to me! Okay, well, let me reiterate something here. Even though I obviously don't advocate for belief...
Can you be a Gnostic atheist? What would that be? Yeah, it would basically just be, there isn't a God, and I know there isn't a God. It would just be thinking that you know for sure.
Believing anything you're told without asking questions, faith is still extremely important. Faith in the future, faith in mankind, faith in your convictions. In fact, you need faith in order to have success. And in order for...
To an extent, faith can have many meanings. Like, faith can be a trust, basically. Faith in humanity. It's that you're saying that you trust based on your previous experience or something else, that you think that humanity is going to live up to some set of expectations that you've set, right? Faith in something supernatural, which I don't believe in the supernatural, but again, you know, I can't control what other people do. It's fine, as long as you're not hurting anyone with that belief. Faith in that case is a little bit of a different thing. It's more like, how do I put this? It's more like someone who has faith that they're gonna win the lottery, even if they've never won the lottery before, you know? Like, there's faith based on past experience and some amount of evidence, and then there's faith that is basically, like she put it, blind faith. And I know she's saying that she believes in a deity or some power based on circumstantial evidence, but again, it would depend on what she considers that evidence to be, so I guess we'll find out in the rest of the video if she goes into it.
For us to have success, we must dismantle the system of racism, white supremacy, and the patriarchy!
Yeah, white supremacy isn't great. Mimsy, actually. I don't know if you know that.
Well, I have a different point of view, Piper.
I know she didn't mean that to sound the way it did, but it did.
In order to have personal success, we must stop looking without and start looking within. If you see oppression and victimization everywhere you look, this becomes the reality of your own creation.
Oops. Yeah, remember Charlottesville? That was definitely because I didn't look within enough. Whoops. Hey, remember this year when a bunch of Trump supporters broke into the Capitol and some of them were trying to find Congress people to murder or hold captive? That was definitely because I just didn't introspect enough. That's my fault. Sorry, everyone.
And this brings me to another aspect of my belief system, the law of attraction.
Oh no! She believes... Oh no! Oh god! I didn't think we were gonna get into this. Daddy Sume with some sort of link.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
So for those who don't know what the law of attraction is, I gotta take these off. They're giving me a headache. Oh, they're pulling on my hair. That's not great. That probably made my hair look very stupid. I'll fix that in a sec. The law of attraction is basically The Secret, if you're aware of the book The Secret. It's the idea that if you put ideas out into the universe, then those things will come to you naturally. So, if you want a husband, you just start, like, constantly thinking about that you want a husband or a spouse or a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and then that'll happen magically. Or if you want a promotion at work, you just put that out into the universe, and then that'll happen. It's sort of, you know, non-denominational version of prayer, basically. I left a real big indent on my nose where the bridge of that was. Yeah, witchcraft light. It's the idea that you'll, you know, put energies out into the world and the world will send those energies back in the form of whatever you were focusing on. Now, the reason that sometimes this will appear to work is because if you're focusing all the time on, I really want that promotion at work, I really want that promotion at work, I really want that promotion at work, you're probably going to focus on your work more, you're probably going to be more successful at it because that's the focus and the thing you're putting the most time and energy into because you're thinking about it all the time, which will lead to better results. But that's not how stuff like this tends to explain it. It's not just put concerted effort towards things and you'll have a higher likelihood of achieving them. It's making it a woo-woo, like, supernatural thing where they believe that there's some cosmic force that is creating that success and it's not just you putting effort in, which I don't think is great. Again, you know, people can believe what they want to believe, but this is not true. It's just not.
Or that, you did a whole show on it. I sure did. Our friends should go check it out. Hey, weren't you going to tell me why you have to have faith to be successful? I'm getting to that. Faith is probably the most important element of the law of attraction. In fact, your ability to manifest your desires is in direct correlation to the amount of faith you have that they'll be manifested.
That's just the idea that fake it till you make it, basically. If you're confident in your ability to do something, then you will have more ease in which you will attempt to do things, and the more you attempt to do things, the higher likelihood you're going to succeed.
You need to believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that what you want in life is on its way, and you must behave as if you already have it. Personally, it's my own self-doubt and lack of faith in my own convictions that hold me back, but it can be a tough circle to break. It's funny that people who have the most success with the law of attraction aren't really critical thinkers. I guess sometimes blind faith can serve you well. I actually have a great example of this. Save it for real talk! I ain't trying to hear that! Doesn't your belief in all this new age crap contradict your belief in God? No, I think it complements it. I believe the law of attraction is a mechanism given to us by the Creator. It's why we're taught to pray. Prayer is very effective in that it activates this natural law. You ask for your desires to be fulfilled, and then you give it over to God. And how
This is actually interesting. There was a study done on the efficacy of prayer on people getting treatment for disease. I don't remember if it was cancer or if it was just a smattering of different disease, whatever. They had two groups. They had a control group, and then they had a group that were being prayed for. And they knew they were being prayed for, and they were told to pray for themselves. And also there were, like, congregations of churches that were brought in for this experiment to pray for these specific patients day in and day out to see if there was any difference between those who had been prayed for and those who had not. As it turned out, actually, those who got prayed for did worse and died more often and had worse outcomes with their diseases. So,
faith that His will be done. Okay, but please tell me you believe in evolution. You're not one of those anti-science weirdos, are you? No, I'm pro-science. I just recognize that some scientists believe that Darwin's theory of evolution has basically been scientifically disproven and actually points to a creator.
oh no, Mimsy! That's not pro-science. That's not pro-science, Mimsy. Oh no.
What? Yeah, even some of the biggest atheists agree that evolution doesn't tell the whole story.
What? Evolution is about once life gets here. Again, this is a weird creationist thing where they'll conflate evolution with the origin of life itself, which isn't really what evolution is. Evolution is an explanation for the variety of life, right? It's an explanation for why there are so many different species in the world. It's why things adapt and change over time, not specific individuals, but populations of animals or plants or whatever life we're talking about. It doesn't attempt to explain exactly why life started or how life started. That's an open question as of this point. Some people think it's abiogenesis. Some people think like panspermia or something. That's a completely separate issue from evolution. However life got here, I think it's abiogenesis, but, you know, I'm an uneducated, like, rando, so my opinion means less than nothing on this, just like Mimsy's does. But once life gets here, it does evolve and adapt over time. We know that. That's evolution. That's all it is.
Some are even willing to admit that intelligent design seems to be the only explanation.
No? No. Who says this?
But they often attribute it to beings from another planet.
Oh, you think it's panspermia. The thing about panspermia, or something like that, and I don't know anyone who's an atheist. I'm sure they exist, because, you know, there's a whole variety of people out there, but I don't think I've ever met an atheist that legitimately believes that aliens brought life to Earth. Panspermia is typically like some microbes or something from some other place in the galaxy or something, like crashed into the Earth and brought microbes that then evolved here on Earth. But even then, that requires an origin point somewhere in the universe, right? Even these aliens, in the case of this, like, hypothetical hypothesis, aliens brought us here. Okay, those aliens would have to come from somewhere, though. So that would mean those aliens evolved from something, which had to either arrive by, like, abiogenesis or something else, right? That doesn't answer the question of where life in the universe comes from. It just would explain, where does life on Earth come from? Which is an interesting question, but that's not really what we're talking about when we're talking about the origin of life as a whole.
I believe in aliens too, but you then have to ask your question, who made them?
Yeah, that's the point. It all comes back down to an origin point. At what point did certain elements and compounds and stuff come together in such a way that they can self-replicate and adapt over time? Taking in energy, using that energy to grow and reproduce and adapt. That's the fundamental question we are asking when we talk about the origin of life, and we don't have an answer. That's the only honest answer, is we don't have an answer right now.
And so on and so on. It always comes down to an infinite creator. They just
Not necessarily. No. Again, I'm not against anyone's beliefs as long as they're not hurting other people. But you also need to recognize that it's a religious belief, and that's fine. You can have your own particular religious beliefs. Everyone has a right to that, but that's not a scientific stance.
refuse to call this God. I'll put some links to what I'm talking about below.
I wonder what the links are to. Law of Attraction, Spirit Radio. Oh no! She linked to answers in Genesis! It's so much worse than I thought! It's Ken Ham's Creationist Museum Ark Encounter organization. Oh, Mimsy, no. Oh,
Wait, you believe in aliens? Well, yes, I do. I believe they've been visiting Earth since the beginning of time.
Oh no, Mimsy! Look, chat, I believe humans are probably not the only life in the universe. There's probably life elsewhere. If life came to exist here somehow, based on the size of the universe, life probably has or will existed or does exist somewhere else in the universe, somewhere. Maybe it's abundant, maybe it's not. I guess that's relative. but I don't think aliens have ever visited Earth. The distances we're talking about between planets, between galaxies, is so astronomical. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Maybe in the future we'll find out something and I'm just completely wrong and that's fine. But based on the evidence we have now and our understanding of how things work, it's very unlikely that any sort of intelligent alien that we would recognize as intelligent has visited the Earth. Her and Peter should hang out.
And that they influence the teachings of the Bible, and they know the truth about God and the afterlife.
Oh God, did she learn everything she believes from ancient aliens and The Secret?
The afterlife? Mimsy, you're more of a wackadoo than I ever imagined. I also believe in spirits and mediums
Oh God, she believes in ghosts.
and reincarnation.
Wait, you believe in reincarnation and some other kind of afterlife? How does that work? Is it like a... Oh God, is it a defending your life situation? Is it a what dreams may come situation? Which movie is this closest to, Mimsy? That's my only frame of reference.
Ah! How? Well, maybe I just don't want to live in a world where these possibilities don't exist.
Okay. But, like, that's an argument for... Again, be clear. Because we're in this discussion, I'm having this discussion with her. Not discussion, but because this is the nature of the channel. I would not harass people in real life about their beliefs. People can have their beliefs, that's fine. But we're here and we're having this discussion. I just want to be clear about that. I'm not trying to be edgy, atheist, whatever. We're having a discussion about Mimsy's beliefs and how they relate to reality. Okay, cool. What did she just say? I actually completely forgot.
Well, maybe I just don't want to live in a world where these possibilities don't exist.
Ah, okay. I don't mean to be the person that does the fallacy, but that's called an argument from consequences. If your only reason for believing something, or your main reason for believing something, is that if that thing isn't true, it makes you sad, that's not a good argument for why it exists, and that's not a good reason to believe something exists.
But mostly, I've listened.
Like, imagine if I made an argument that said, like, oh man, I think secretly, Superman is real, and he's protecting all of us, because if Superman wasn't real, I wouldn't want to live in a world without Superman. Like, that's not an argument for Superman existing. That's just me being bummed out that reality doesn't conform to my wants, you know?
Listen to many first-hand accounts from
Speaking of which, Superman and Lois, which is the new Superman show, is pretty good. Check it out.
credible people
The first episode's a little rough. The pilot, but it gets better after that.
who have communicated with aliens.
It is a CW show, though, so bear that in mind. But it is the best CW show I've seen. Much better than, like, The Flash, which I also enjoy, but Superman's better.
And spirits, and have had near-death experiences and remember past lives. Sometimes there's even physical evidence that can't be explained.
Sort of. STH says I have bad news, Hannah. What's the bad news?
You can say that these people are all liars and that the evidence has all been faked, but I don't personally believe that it can be dismissed that way. So, basically, like I said before, I base my belief system around what I consider a preponderance of evidence, and you can think that makes me a superstitious wackadoo. I'm okay with that. You are free to have your own beliefs.
Superman doesn't exist. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me in my own chat.
And I'm comfortable with mine.
Great. That's cool. The only problem is, Mimsy, is you also... And I would hope your spirituality isn't the reason for this, but you tend to be kind of homophobic and you slut shame a lot, and I'm wondering if the origin of that, any of it, is maybe your religious beliefs. And that's what I'm talking about when I say it's great for everyone to have beliefs. If you have them, that's awesome. Like, that's cool. I'm cool with that. You have every right to do so. No problem. But when you start to hurt people with those beliefs and start to discriminate against people and badmouth people based on those beliefs, gets a little bit of an issue, right? You probably need to re-examine those specific beliefs.
Free to have my own beliefs, huh? Then why are you even telling me this? Aren't you trying to indoctrinate me into your cult or something? Me? No. But that is a good question. Why am I even talking about this? Why do any of us with a channel on YouTube talk about our feelings or our beliefs? We just desire to be heard, I guess.
Sure.
It's probably something about us being social creatures and a release of dopamine or something. So maybe some people have a desire for power or control or to manipulate others, but that's really not me. Perhaps I'm seeking validation. So, friends, why do we get on?
That's basically everyone on YouTube. If you're making YouTube videos or streaming, your parents didn't love you enough. True story. Me included.
Here and tell people how we feel. Let me know your views
That's a joke, obviously. I don't really think that.
in the comments below. You said earlier that getting a mansion in heaven is another story. Do you really believe that or something? Well, you know, Piper, in a way I kind of do. Let me explain it this way. You know how the Bible teaches that in order to get to heaven, you shouldn't commit sins? But since we're all human, we get a loophole. We turn it over to God and believe that Jesus died for our sins, and we repent, and Jesus will remove our sin. I respect those who take this literally, but I have a different theory. I do believe this is ancient knowledge given to us from beings much wiser than us.
Oh, so she thinks that Christianity was invented by aliens to teach people morals? Interesting. MH Darkbeast says, but now all of your children love you. Thank you.
Told to us in a way that was easy to understand. I believe in order for our...
I feel like it would be easier to explain, hey, we're from another place. Maybe not planet, because people didn't understand planets at the time. They thought they were like wandering stars. Be like, we're from a faraway land. Look at our amazing technology. And then they can pull out like a ray gun and dissolve a rock or something. And people will be like, ooh, magic. And they'll be like, hey, so we're from a different place and we're really smart. You should do these things because look at how much cool stuff we can do. If you want to do these things, then don't kill each other, especially because of different belief systems. Don't enslave people. Don't treat women badly, or anyone for that matter, really. Just be chill, right? Like, you'd think that'd be easier than, all right, we gotta concoct a story about a carpenter who's magic, who goes in around Jerusalem and the area. He goes around the whole area and he does miracles, and then he gets killed by the Romans, and then, you know, there's some slave rebellions, and then Constantine decides to make Christianity the... You get it. It's a 5-step plan. There's a potential for some crusades in there, but we're gonna hope we avoid the crusades.
Our souls to ascend to, let's say, a higher dimension, you must have a matching vibration.
Oh no, she's into the spirit science stuff. This video should be on Tinfoil Tuesday.
If you go around hurting others and hurting yourself, you're gonna feel shitty and your vibrational energy won't be in sync with the good place. Now, I don't believe in a literal hell, but I do believe there are many dimensional levels on the other side.
Cool. So, like, I can be a total slut then, Mimsy? Remember that time you called people who sleep with other people sluts? If there's no hell, I can just go slut it up then. Awesome.
And if your soul is in a bad state when you pass, you're going to end up in a lower level in some kind of hell of your own making. And you're going to need to be rehabilitated. But if you believe with all of your heart that your indiscretions have been forgiven, you're going to feel pretty good, and you're going to end up on a higher level in a heaven of your own making. I always say that your life is what you make it, but in the afterlife, this is more true than ever. And you can have that mansion in heaven if you so desire. Well, I want you to put a link to my blog in the description. I can't wait to tell.
Did she make a fake Piper blog? Because that would be amazing if she made a parody, edgy Piper puppet atheist. No, I don't think she did. That's a shame.
Everyone how stupid they are if they believe in God. Yeah, that's something I'm trying to understand. There's a lot of atheist content out there, and a lot of it tries to make people feel stupid for believing in God.
I actually agree with that, and I was participating in that for a really long period of time, and I don't think that's the way to go at all. That's a really stupid way to go about it. Because the vast majority of people on Earth are Christian, right? Brilliant people are Christians or other religions or have been in the past. Incredibly intelligent people can be religious. Someone can be intelligent and also just be wrong about specific beliefs that they hold. Like Isaac Newton was into biblical numerology and thought via alchemy he could turn lead into gold, right? Like, there can be intelligent people that believe certain things that just happen to not be true for a variety of reasons because we're all human beings and our perceptions are subject to fault. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You can have an adult conversation with people if you so choose about their beliefs without trying to win the argument by denigrating their intelligence level or how you perceive their intelligence level. It's just stupid and it makes you look like a jackass, frankly. So don't do it.
But what is the motivation?
Jaded Jackal says, to be fair, your and Jake's content was very cathartic to a young atheist like myself back in the day. I'm sure it was, because a lot of people when they first become non-religious get really frustrated because it feels like to you that it's obvious, you know, that these certain beliefs aren't true or whatever. And to an extent, I think we all still think that. But everyone has different experiences and perceptions, and everyone has their own blinders. I'm sure I have my own on a variety of topics. But, like, just going into a conversation and calling people stupid or acting like they're less intelligent than you just because of this specific belief system, whether or not it's true about specific people, irrelevant. Completely irrelevant to the conversation. That's not what you're talking about. There are tons of intelligent religious people. Tons of them. So if you want to talk about a specific topic like their belief system, then do that. But engage as an adult and don't just try and insult someone into winning an argument or owning, you know, the religious person. It's juvenile, to say the least.
Motivation for this? I mean,
Am I saying hitch slaps are not productive? Yes. Yes, I am.
I can see why you would want to convince someone not to hurt or discriminate against someone in the name of God, but I don't think that's really what most believers are really like these days. So, other than that, why would you want to lead someone away from something that doesn't hurt anyone?
That assumes it doesn't hurt anyone, when a lot of the times people's beliefs can lead them to bad conclusions. Like, I have no problem with, like I said, people's belief systems as long as they don't hurt anyone. But if we look at, there's another hydrate. But if we look at evangelical Christianity in the United States, for instance, you can wind up with groups of people who because of their beliefs, think that hating people in the LGBT community is valid and that it is righteous because their religion or their pastor tells them to do so. That's where we run into issues, where people start using their spiritual, faith-based beliefs to hate others and to harm others, whether it be through policy or some other physical action, like beating someone up because they perceive them as gay or something. You know how that kind of thing goes. It's just, beliefs are beliefs and they're fine. Once those beliefs become action that harm other people, that's an issue. And I think it's completely valid to bring up that issue because it pervades human society. Like, and it's not just a religious thing. This happens in any belief that people hold very dearly, right? Religious or not. That belief can lead people down bad paths where they end up demonizing certain groups of people and want to hurt them because of their perceptions of those people that they were led to by those beliefs. And it's always good to introspect about that and check yourself to make sure that you're not falling down that same hole that so many people fall down. It's just not good.
And it gives them peace and comfort and meaning in their life. Believing in an afterlife gives me more peace than believing that when you die, you just become worm food and that's it, ever could.
There's a Tumblr post floating around about how the atheism of LGBTIQ people, women and people of color, is often different to that of cishet white men because it is often but not always a response to religious misogyny, queerphobia, racism, rather than a Dawkins-style conviction about rationality. That's a fair point. That makes some sense. There's a stripe of people who are non-religious and who talk about it, who almost like, and again, I think rationality and like logic are wonderful things. They're wonderful tools in argumentation and to learn things about the world around us. But there are some people who basically fetishize the concept to the point where it almost becomes a catch-all, even when they're not being logical or rational. They'll just slap, logic on a t-shirt or rationality on their argument as a coding as opposed to the actual, substance of the argument. And they think it wins all the time. And this, I think, led to a lot of people like Sargon and the anti-SJW, skeptic, air quotes, who came out of the atheist community in the 2012, 13, 14 era, stuff like that. It becomes a huge issue, right? So, yeah, I think there's definitely a difference. There's a certain subset of non-religious people who think they're, owning people by, discussing their beliefs as opposed to actually trying to come to some sort of understanding or consensus, or even just an understanding of other people's beliefs. It's not good.
I got a lot to say here. I don't want to tell the kids that Santa isn't real. Yeah, why don't you go kick some puppies or something? Are you telling me to leave? Because I'll go. No, Piper, I'm kidding. Why don't you come with me on an adventure to Snortling's Hollow? Okay, I can do that. Alrighty then. To the lab!
Are we gonna meet God Snortling? Is there a Snortling God?
Okay, are you ready to go, Piper?
Still love that
Yeah,
robe.
let me just get in
Or
the
cloak.
zone. You got some kind of crazy nickname for me today? Oh, like Madam Wackadoo? I think you could do better than that. Mimsy! I've got some kind of eternally creative nickname.
The salt lamp makes more sense now. Some people put spiritual significance into the salt lamp thing. They think it produces certain vibrations of energy and stuff. And if she's into that, the salt lamp makes more sense. One time I licked a salt lamp in a Bed Bath & Beyond. That was long before COVID. And I was 20. It was salty.
Machine. Why's it always gotta be up to me? Maybe someone in our audience can come up with...
Did it give me magic powers? Fun fact, the salt lamp actually made me trans. That's the moment I became trans, is when I licked the salt lamp.
a good nickname for you. In fact, tell me a good nickname for Madam Conservatard over here.
Ooh.
And I'll put it in our next show and
Yikes,
give you
Piper.
a shout out. Okay, sounds like a great idea. So, here we go. Join me on our magical journey through another dimension and another time and place. Allow your imagination to travel with me to the enchanted land of Snortling's Hollow.
We've all been there, standing in a Bed Bath & Beyond, licking salt lamps, realizing we're trans.
And here we are, right in front of the... What the fuck? And here we are, right in front of the... What the fuck?
Remember when this was a kid show? I'm so glad it's not a kid show anymore. It's so much better.
Where are we? Ha! Avatar Mimsy says the F word? Well, apparently. I was just surprised. We usually materialize in front of the Beaver Clan Gazette. Well, I think my active imagination may have directed us towards the general store because Avatar Piper wants to go shopping. Hey,
Look at this cute little, and I gotta give her props again. Look at this cute little general store she made with all the miniatures. She got like a miniature, and I assume you can buy like mini things for miniatures online or at craft stores, but still they're so cool. Like, look, there's a little thing of like Coca-Cola, there's a gumball machine. In the back, there's like little boxes of Ritz crackers and Oreos and saltines and little boxes of cereal. It's so cool.
Otto, I think my friend here would like to have a look around.
Perfect face for the cashier, by the way. Spot on, Mimsy.
Well, certainly. Hello, Mimsy and Piper. Do we know you? I think what she meant.
Can I link her Etsy? Yes, I can. I have no problem linking to her Etsy because she is very talented at the miniatures.
means to say is, I don't think we've been introduced. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Herman. Everyone knows who you are. I've been wanting to meet you. Well, it's nice to meet you, Herman. Yeah, sure. What have you two been up to today? Well, we just arrived here in your lovely township. Yeah, and before that, Mimsy was telling me how she believes in God and ghosts and aliens and stuff. Crazy, huh? Well, when you say aliens, what are you talking about?
Hello, Baha.
You know, those guys with the big black slanted eyes and the big heads. Oh, it sounds like you're talking about the Zeta Reticuli. The who, the what, the? Yeah, Piper. I actually have a family of Zeta living right next door to me. Would you like to meet them? Wow, we sure would. But shopping! This is a really nice place you got here, Herman. Yeah, it's great. So where are these aliens? I think they prefer to be called Zetas, Piper. Let me walk next door and make sure they're home. Are we actually going to be meeting actual aliens? This is kind of freaking me out. I know how you feel, but you have to be careful not to be rude. You, of all people, don't want to come off as xenophobic, do you?
What turn? This was about religion. Why are we visiting aliens who are the neighbors?
We got used to seeing weeblings, winglings, snoglings, and squinklings. So what's the difference? Heck, I even saw some talking bears at one of the rallies.
Yeah, why does Piper not believe in aliens? In the universe of the show, Piper is a living puppet that uses magic to transport to another miniature dimension with all sorts of creatures. Why would Piper not believe in magic? I hope someone wears my stupid. I really hope someone got fired for that blunder. Cinema Sins, ding.
Yeah, what was up with that? Okay, they said to come right over. Okay, let's go. Mimsy?
Yes.
Piper, I'd like you to meet Chuck.
Oh no, I gotta switch hats. Dang it, I liked this one. Okay. Got a hats off redemption. We'll go with the fabulous witch hat. How about that? That's pretty good. I think this fits the mood. Yeah? That'll do.
Betty and their daughter Sally. Oh, hi! Nice to meet you.
Hydrate.
I can hear them in my head. They're not even moving their mouths. So, how did you know I was gonna... okay, yes, I can sure understand why.
She's not gonna voice over the aliens, they're just gonna talk in her head and we can't hear them? That's a choice.
I'm sorry, what exactly is going on here? Well, the Zetas communicate telepathically.
Do I still have the same P.O. box? I do. Let me do the command for it. P.O. box. There is the address in the stream chat. We're probably going to do an unboxing sometime in the next couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
They actually already know what you're going to say as soon as you think it. It takes some getting used to. Well, I don't like it. Piper, you're being rude. I was just thinking that I was surprised by their names, and Chuck explained that they decided to change their original names, move into this house, and try to take on some of the local customs to better assimilate to this dimension. Yes, their interdimensional spacecraft crashed here a couple of years ago, and... okay. I'm sorry to hear that. Can I ask you to, no? Okay, I understand. Well, yeah, I'm sure the Snortlings are glad to have you. Yes, there was a falling out between Chuck's family and his people, but he prefers not to talk about it.
Chuck is a sex criminal back on his home planet, so we don't like to talk about it.
Hardly seems fair considering he can literally read our minds. But hey, their people's loss is our gain. We
Yeah, it's a good aliens rhetoric. Yeah, I caught that.
sure do enjoy having them. Well, Chuck, Betty, Sally, you have certainly made a lovely home for yourselves here. You fit right in. Nice. Is it all right if we go now, Mimsy?
Piper is a literal puppet that fucks. Why is she made so uncomfortable by these aliens?
No offense. It was so nice.
Is the joke just like, liberals are the real racists? Is that the joke?
Nice to meet you. Yeah, bye-bye. Come on, Mimsy.
Oh god, we still got 10 minutes left. I like the puppet sections.
Hey,
Or the miniature sections.
I'd like to take this opportunity to promote the Snorling's Hollow Etsy shop, where Herman's house and the Zeta's house featured in today's adventure are both for sale right now. Go check out my store and don't forget that Etsy offers a payment plan. And I also want to let you know about my new podcast channel, Common Ground.
Oh no, she's got a podcast. This is where she's gonna be doing her discussions with people, I'm guessing.
Created by my liberal friend James LaCroix and I. We will be talking about all the hot button topics of
How much are they? The most expensive one on the Etsy store right now, I think, is like $4.50.
today from a liberal and a conservative
They're well made. Like, if you're into little miniatures like that, I don't know how much time and materials go into them, but
point of view, and we'll be looking for great guests. So let me know if there's a topic you're passionate about, and maybe you'll be a guest on our show. We've done one episode already, so go check it out. Links below. So, welcome to Real Talk with Mimsy and Captain Winky. Captain, my captain. So, I'm not sure what kind of feedback I'm going to get from this episode, but I've come this far, so I'm just going to keep saying stuff.
this is far from Mimsy's worst episode. Important news. What is it? Texas gains 2 seats in Congress, while New York, California, and 5 other states lose seats. Oh boy, that's not good. Yikerinos. Decrease in population. Well, that's not good.
Hello.
Oops, wrong one.
So another thing I believe is that we consciously choose the person we are, the type of family
Yeah,
we
I saw Michigan was on the list of losing one too.
have, and some scenarios that we could experience before we incarnate on this earth. Sometimes we choose a difficult life and sometimes we choose an easier one, depending on what we want to learn and what we want to get out of it. Time is experienced much differently on the other side. Some say that time doesn't exist, but I have trouble grasping that concept. So, coming to Earth to experience life isn't as much of a long-term commitment as it seems from our point of view. It may seem only like a vacation. I believe that we're all here for a reason, that we all fit into a puzzle, or that we're all like cogs in an intricate clock. Even bad people, murderers and rapists, are all part of the plan because some people choose to face these types of adversity in their journey.
What?
block. Even bad people, murderers and rapists, are all part of the plan because some people choose to face these types of adversity in their journey.
Did she just imply that being murdered or sexually assaulted is something you bring upon yourself through the law of attraction? Oh no. Oh no. That is next level victim blaming. Jesus Christ, Mimsy. Holy shit.
And these souls choose to accept the rules to learn their own lessons. So I believe in soulmates. And maybe the soul who's your daughter in this life is your father in the last. Now, do I have proof these things are true? Well, no. But many people have claimed to have crossed to the other side and have independently from one another claimed to have experienced similar things through near-death experiences, hypnosis, astral travel, or through messages from what they sometimes call spirit guides. You know how people say that when you die, your whole life flashes before your eyes? Well, most of these people say that this is quite literally true. It's often been called a life review, and it's certainly the basis for the belief in Judgment Day. This belief I have has served me very well. It allows me to be very forgiving of myself and others. It's easier for me to handle difficulties in my life because I see them as necessary and an opportunity for growth. I don't have a lot of stress because I know that whatever happens was meant to be. I never wonder why bad things happen to good people or why God is punishing us.
I like my set of beliefs because I never have to self-examine why the world exists the way it does. It's nice not having to think.
And I don't try to control the other people in my life because I realize they are following their own life path. Fellow travelers, you know? And as far as an afterlife, there have been some very incredible and very convincing things happen in this world that can't be easily explained. I'll put a link below to a video about a ghost writing on Polaroid film.
It's a ghost writing on Polaroid film.
Full of witnesses, they decided to try to talk to it. Throughout the years, they asked, "Are you here?" And the answer was, yes.
That just changed everything. It's one.
They have accumulated.
They're faking it. They're faking that. A human can do that to Polaroid film. Did you know that? Did you know you can do this to your own Polaroid film? Someone did a hydrate.
No matter who shot the picture, no matter which Polaroid camera or which fresh out of the package of film was used, there are words, communications written on the picture, plain as day. I'll also put a link to a video about Marcello Bacci.
I thought she was going to say Marcel Bisset for a second, and I was about to lose my mind.
With intelligent beings through his tube radio back in the 60s and 70s. Clear as day, voices from spirits speaking perfect Italian spoke to their loved ones in their own voice and saying things only they could know. And this was replicated hundreds of times and went on for years, even under controlled conditions. Now, if you feel motivated to look into other stories about near-death experiences or reincarnation or aliens, you can easily go down the internet rabbit hole on these amazing subjects. But I'll put a couple links to get you started. Okay, Captain Winky, you're off the hook. And I have a couple more things that I'd like you to check out. So look below for a link that proves the power of faith. It's the story of Helene Hadsel, a woman who, after learning the concept of the law of attraction, believed in it so wholeheartedly and without question or doubt that for the rest of her life, she won every contest she ever entered. I sure wish I could master that kind of faith. And if you're looking for scientific
She believes in literal magic. Oh no.
evidence for the existence of God, I've got a couple of great links for you.
One of her links was from the Ken Ham place, so I don't know if I trust her sources. Oh no. If you want to learn more about some of the topics I discussed, my favorite influencers are Ben Shapiro, Lauren Chen, Karlin Borisenko, Officer Tatum, Conservative Twins, Tim Pool, Blair White, Larry Elder, Jordan Peterson, and Candace Owens. I think that speaks for itself.
I definitely recommend the one titled Science Confirms the Bible. And it's also very interesting to listen to a lecture by Dr. Hugh Ross, an astronomer and astrophysicist, and atheist turned Christian James Perloff on creation versus evolution. So again, why am I telling you all this? Am I trying to impose my beliefs on you? Well, no. I'm just like anyone else, talking on a subject that I'm interested in, and if for your own reasons you did adopt my belief system, I sure don't see anything wrong with it. Like I said, it brings me peace and satisfaction. In fact, I would think that the only people who might see my beliefs as harmful might be Christians, because they have a pretty specific idea of what does or doesn't keep you out of hell.
Okay, here's my issue with Mimsy's. You know, this is a 30-minute video, and there's basically one thing that I really take moral issue with, and that's the victim blaming aspect. The idea that she thinks that if you get assaulted or attacked or murdered, that it's like your own fault and that you brought that upon yourself somehow by putting out into the universe. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a harmful belief that leads you to start victim blaming everyone and not take the threats of sexual assault and assault in general seriously. That's bad. Don't do that, Mimsy. Please.
But what I do find curious is why so many atheists are so determined to talk people out of their spiritual beliefs. Most people...
It does explain a lot of her, like, conservative ideology then. Because she believes that if something bad happens to you, it literally cannot be just for no reason. She thinks the universe doesn't work that way. She thinks if something bad happens to you, it's your own fault every time. You can't just become homeless for no good reason and no fault of your own. You can't just be assaulted for no fault of your own. It has to be your fault because it's scary to her to live in a universe that is that random where bad things can happen to good people for no reason at all. And that is scary, but it's also the reality we live in, which is why we need to work on policies that help people get out of those situations that are not their fault.
People don't find contentment in a life void of spirituality. So, am I saying that I have all the answers? No. And I'm sure many Christians disagree with me. And I'm humble enough to say that maybe they're the ones who are right and I'm wrong. I mean, how can I argue with millions and billions of people who have lived by and studied Christianity? Maybe my beliefs or lack thereof will cause me and all other non-believers to eternally burn in the fires of hell. But it is said that we're all God's children. And yes,
honestly, if we do all end up in hell, it's going to be pretty lit. We can hang out, watch bad videos all the time, and I guess Mimsy will be there, and we can watch a puppet show. So that'll be good.
believe that our souls are all little pieces of the God energy.
Also, I'm pretty sure there's no copyright in hell, so we can just watch whatever we want. We can MST3K any movie at any time. Sounds pretty sweet.
So why would God want parts of him burning in hell? To me, this is a threat meant to control the masses, but like I said, many will disagree, so take it for what it's worth. I don't think that anyone should try to force any belief system onto anyone. Only you know what rings true for you, so explore. But I'll tell you right now that personally, I don't feel comfortable with any religion that judges or harms people for immutable characteristics such as being gay or trans, or teaches that their way is the only...
What about being assaulted? You just said you think if people are assaulted, then that's their fault. But that's not. they're victims. So, what?
Only way, and non-believers should be conquered. I don't feel comfortable with any religion that promotes hate, intolerance, misogyny, or homophobia. Some people believe that this describes the Christian religion, and in some ways, I can see their point. And like I said, it's one of the reasons that I don't consider myself a Christian. I think that if you're going to call yourself a Christian, you can't pick and choose the parts of the Bible that you like. But please, help me to understand why so many woke leftists condemn Christianity and then go out of their way to defend the Muslim religion.
Ah, okay. Let's explain this. First of all, because Christianity is the majority in the United States, it actually affects policy on a substantial level and hurts people in the LGBT community, people in minority groups, all sorts of things like that. Whereas usually in the United States, people who are Muslim are targeted by Christians or other conservatives for their beliefs. Like, I don't agree with Islam, right? I don't like any conservative ideology that negatively affects people based on my perception of it. However, I also recognize that everyone has the right to their beliefs. So usually when Christians attack people who are Islamic or whatever, it ends up being a really disingenuous attack and a little bit racist sometimes. So yeah, usually the issue is just that conservatives will attack Muslims pretty hypocritically, considering conservatives tend to be Christian and a lot of them are evangelicals, which have many of the same beliefs of Islam in the first place. But like, conservatives will use that as a vein of attack, and they will, for instance, act as though people who believe in Islam don't have the right to do so in the United States, or they'll take extreme examples of people who are really hardline conservative, people who believe in Islam to the extent that they like really, really hate gay people and oppressing women, and then we'll apply that even to like more liberal, left-leaning Muslims in the United States, and that's completely unfair. So that's usually the issue. I wouldn't defend a lot of the practices of Islam, just like I wouldn't defend a lot of the practices of Christianity. But at the end of the day, people have the right, as long as they're not harming anyone, to either practice Christianity or Islam. That's how it works.
Seriously, is it because the majority of Muslims have brown skin? Because
Yikes!
Muslim isn't a race. It's an ideology that's worthy of discussion and criticism just like any other. So, if you're willing to throw women and gays under the bus or off a building in the name of diversity, you'll look the other way on misogyny.
She's literally doing the thing. She's doing the thing I just described. She's categorizing all people who believe in Islam by the worst people in that group. Like, I could do the same thing with Christians, right? There are Christians out there whom we've covered who want to stone the gays and kill the gays. Like, I wouldn't paint every Christian with that same brush, because it would be unfair to do so, and Mimsy is doing the same thing with Muslims here.
Misogyny, homophobia, and intolerance, so no one will think you're Islamophobic? Well, I'm coming out as Islamophobic right now.
Oh no! You know, earlier in the video I was like, you know, Mimsy's made worse videos than this. This isn't too bad. And here we are. I'm always wrong. I'm a regular Tim Pool with how bad I am at these predictions, huh?
Okay, I understand that not all Muslims have these extreme views, but according to their own religion, that makes them infidels.
Okay. And the Bible says the things you believe mean you're going to hell. There are plenty of, like, liberal or left-leaning Christians, progressive Christians, who don't follow a lot of the stuff the Bible says, and the Bible then says they're going to hell. You could make the same argument towards them. You're being incredibly hypocritical.
Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know in the comments below.
Yikes, Mimsy.
Maybe this will be a subject we can talk about on our new podcast show, Common Ground. So, if you'd like to support me, I'd really appreciate it, because these shows are a lot of work. I got books, awesome t-shirts, and don't forget about the Snortling's Hollow Etsy shop. Own a little piece of Snortling's Hollow for your very own. The links are below. And now, it's time for the goodbye song.
Unconditional Prong says my ex is a progressive Christian, proof that they exist. Yeah, last time I checked, my cousin also is. Like, that's fine.
Goodbye, farewell to you, my friend, until which time we meet again. We've talked about a lot of stuff, like being fair and being tough. Be brave and see what you'll achieve if you stand by what you believe. Bye, friends.
Oh, yikes. That was worse than I was expecting it to be. Mimsy's still only at 2,000 subscribers, huh? Wow. Her videos get like under 1,000 views a lot of the time now. We're some of the few big-time Mimsy fans, guys. Like, we are, oh my god, this is from 2 days ago, and it only has 150 views. There are more people watching me right now than watched Snortling's Hollow over the last 2 days. Double, in fact, over double. Oh, Mimsy. All right. You know, I was going to say I missed Snortling's Hollow, but we watched that, and I have decided I did not miss it. Never mind.